What's happening? This is Ryan from Sledding Side by Sides, and today got a good video for you. We got suspension kit. We're putting on the old Rmax Schmidty Racing Suspensions. I bought their medium spring kit. So yeah, I mean, brand new tender, brand new everything. This is gonna pretty much convert this into a true dual rate setup, because the suspension pretty much sucks on this thing. I guess I'm not even gonna beat around the bush. It's just not good. This is my first side-by-side, so I didn't really know a difference till I rode with Jake in his four-seater. And yeah, suspension's pretty much horrible on this thing. One of the downsides so far that I've noticed is the suspension, and it's 10 feet tall, but you know, that's for another day. But yeah, basically you can see the front's not too bad. This tender spring's got a little space in it, but this back one is pretty much smashed all the way flat. That ain't doing nothing. It's basically you're just springing using the single spring on the bottom. No good. We're gonna go through and kind of explain how to do it. Everything. You see a bunch of questions. What does it do? Does it lift it? How much does it lift it? Is it a lift kit? How much does the axle angles affect the spring kit affect the axle angles? And I mean, there's just a bunch of different stuff. So we're gonna take some measurements before we get all this in, and we're gonna take some measurements after, and we're gonna go from there. I just kind of want to, for this video, I just want to kind of try to answer some questions, because I did a bunch of research and just seen tons of the same questions over and over. People, you know, I mean, it's not cheap. It's $907 on that table right there, shipped to my door. So this isn't like a cheap deal to do. So I mean, I just want to just kind of do the best job documenting as I can. And yeah, from what I heard, from what I've read, all the reviews, this is supposed to be like a total game changer. Supposed to turn this thing into a lot better ride. You'll be able to hit bigger whoops. Obviously, this is not a trailing arm setup side by side. So obviously, like a stock Razor, stock X3, even the KRX, they're all trailing arms. They're obviously going to be better suspension than this. You're always going to be a little bit of a disadvantage because this is rear A-arms. So, but yeah, I'm gonna take some measurements, show you what we got, what we're working with, and then we're gonna start ripping on this thing. And for reference, this does have 32 by 10 by 14 tires. So the stock tires, you may get a little bit different measurements, but for reference, that's what we're gonna do. So right here is what we got. We're gonna measure to the floor, to the bottom, basically bottom of the frame, which is right around 13 3/4. So, I mean, that's right to the ground, 13 3/4. All right, let's see what we got for the front. If I can deal with this tape measure one-handed. I'm gonna try to get it as close as I can. Doing this one-handed ain't very easy. But all right, you're roughly, you can kind of gauge it. We're about the same, 13 1/2, 13 1/4 to the floor. So basically we're 13 1/2 from the bottom of the skid plate. Let's see where these bars are right here. Okay, this bar, we're at 16 1/2 inches from the floor. So that's gonna give us a good baseline. And yeah, now it's time to start ripping. you got this one, this other front one together. So basically, they give you a crossover ring right here, and you want the adjustment, you want 2 3/8 from the top of this to your slider to your crossover ring, 2 3/8. And then to start with your preload adjustment, you want to measure from this bottom ring, or basically where this tender spring starts, up to this top cap right here, should be 20 1/8. That's what the directions say. I mean, directions are pretty specific. They give you a pretty good idea of what you need to do. There's not a lot of guesswork, so that's nice. But I mean, they give you new heavy duty billet cap. Springs are bigger. This rub, I don't know what you call it, but this plastic piece right here is a lot heavier duty than the factory ones. So we're gonna put her in, go from there. Alright, so we're getting ready to put the last one together on the rear. And I just want to show you, these are labeled. It says rear tender, rear main. So there is a difference. They don't just go anywhere. So, I mean, it's just a really nice setup. They got new billet caps for the bottom, crossover rings. I mean, they got it set right up. It seems to work really, really well so far. I'm pretty happy with the directions. Are super specific, makes it pretty easy. So I mean, the install really isn't bad. I see some guys say they don't take the shocks all the way out. That would be a royal pain. Just, I wanted to get them all the way out and clean up all the threads and, you know, get them cleaned up looking nice. When you put these back in, if you take them out, when you put them back in, make sure to put the rear bolt in first, because it's kind of encapsulated in this lower control arm. Makes it a royal pain. So I put the lower bolt in first, and then that makes it really easy to get the upper bolt in. So like I said, if you take these all the way out, make life a lot easier, which I don't see how you couldn't change these springs not taking them all the way out. I mean, but everybody's different. But yeah, I'm excited to see what this is going to do. Everybody says it's supposed to be the next best thing, and we'll try the springs, and then this winter I may take them back out and then send them right to Schmidty and have it revalved. We're not sure yet. Go from there. But yeah, so far I'm liking it. All right, this is the second one, basically the last one we got. This one's off the rear. Basically, you want 2 1/8 from the top of this bushing to this coil ring right here, 2 1/8. And then they say with this spring compressed, we went 18 inches from the top of this spring here. We measured from here to the top of this one here, 18 inches. That's your initial setup to get on the Rmax, and then we'll get it set down, and then we'll do some adjusting, figure out where it is, and then just about done. So far, I mean, the install really wasn't that bad. Instructions super easy. So I mean, I'm pretty happy so far. I can't wait to ride this thing, man. I think it's gonna be wild for sure. All right, let's see what we got. Initial drop. See what it looks like with all four. Holy crap. Wow. definitely a difference. Well, there's a mile in between this tire now. You can see where it was rubbing a little bit. And you can see the marks right here. But yeah, so now we'll do our measurements, see how much shock shaft they want. 6 3/8 or 6 3/4. 6 3/4 exposed shock body at ride height. So that will be ride height right here. All right, guys, we just got back from a ride. We got everything adjusted, and I had to take it for a ride. And I'm telling you right now, it was worth every penny, man. This is totally different machine. Just unreal. We hit this one little 2-track just down the road from Jake's. There's a couple pretty good rollers, bumps and stuff. Some pretty good nasty hitters that I would have really had to slow down for. No, not anymore. It's unbelievable difference. I'm telling you, unbelievable. We went with the directions. We set the front at 6 3/4, and then we set the rear at the very lowest setting. It was 5.5. Basically, we went from the shock body, or bottom of the collar, to the shock body's 5.5. So yeah, we got to do a little bit more adjusting because I see this bump stop is actually touching. So we got to do a little bit more adjusting. But the initial ride, man, unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable. We'll see. Right now, we're going to do a measurement and see where we got it set up. If there's any difference height wise, it looks higher. We're just gonna see. It's actually a little less. So right now where we got it, it's actually about the same, 13.5, maybe even a touch little less. So, which is what I wanted. I wasn't looking for height. I didn't care about height. I just wanted ride quality. So we'll see what we got back here. I think this was 13.5 too. Oh yeah, we gained some back here. Yeah, we definitely gained some back here. We're almost 16.5. So we gained almost 2 inches in the rear. So I'm gonna have to do a little bit more adjusting. But yeah, if you're kind of on the fence about spending 900 bucks on a spring kit for one of these, I'm telling you, it's worth every penny, man. This is unbelievable difference. So yeah, but just I can't even imagine. I never would have thought it would have been this good. Like, no idea. Yeah, hopefully this video helps some of you out here if that's what you're thinking about doing. And make sure you subscribe. And yeah, I just appreciate you watching. And we'll catch you on the next one.